Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pranesh and you're watching Death's Lloyd. In today's video, I'm going to explain you how cylinder lubrication can be continued in ME engine in case one of the cylinder control unit, that is one of the CCU, fails during operation. So this is going to be a kind of pure emergency situation, and it's very important to understand how we're going to deal in this kind of difficult situation once you are on board ship. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first of all, before we go in detail, let's try to understand the two key components used in ME engine. The first one is cylinder control unit, that is CCU, and the second one is engine control unit, that is ECU. So let's start with the CCU first. CCU, that is cylinder control unit, is basically responsible for individual cylinder operation. So we can say it is responsible for exhaust valve actuation, start air valve operation, cylinder lubricator operation, and LFI, ELVA or FIVA valve operation. So basically these all four things are governed by cylinder control unit for that respective cylinder. So it's a kind of headquarter for respective cylinder unit. Now we are coming back to the engine control unit, and it's very important for engine point of view. So basically it controls the overall engine program management, such as engine speed control, running mode selection, start sequence control. So these all things are governed by engine control unit. Now we'll try to break down the function of the ECU, and we'll try to understand what is happening in the ECU and what are the calculations done in ECU. So let's start with the fuel command. So first of all, it is very important to understand the amount of the fuel that is required for the next firing for any particular cylinder is calculated in ECU. So how the calculation is made? So basically we have two important key inputs such as the crankshaft position and the tacho function. With the help of the tacho function, that is we have been provided with TSA A and TSA B, that is tacho system A and tacho system B. So based on the tacho function and the crankshaft position, so the fuel command is generated. But still this is not the final fuel command. Now we have another thing, the speed control knob, because we have set the required speed for that particular engine. So based on the speed control knob, the fuel command is generated. So we have earlier one fuel command with the help of the tacho function and the crankshaft position, and now we have another fuel command with the speed control knob. So these two fuel commands are then run through protective algorithms. So these algorithms are called fuel limiters. So based on these algorithms, the final fuel command is generated. So this is the final fuel command that is required for the next firing for that particular cylinder. So similarly, all these particular cylinders are provided with the fuel commands for the respective unit. Now apart from the fuel command based on the engine running mode, so basically we have been provided with different kind of running modes which is available for different sea conditions. So for example, we have a torque control mode, we have economy mode, we have a governor control mode or speed control mode. So based on the engine running mode, ECU also calculates the fuel injection timing, the exhaust valve actuation timing, hydraulic pressure set points, and cylinder lubrication feed rate. Now in this video, since we are more particular about the cylinder lubrication, so it is very important to understand how the cylinder lubrication feed rate is calculated over here. So first of all, we have two important things which is actually responsible for deciding the cylinder lubrication feed rate. The first one is sulfur percentage. So sulfur percentage is provided by it is mentioned in the BDN, that is bunker delivery note, and it is provided by the supplier during the time of lube while bunkering on board ship. The second one is minimum feed rate. So minimum feed rate is a kind of term which is provided by the maker during the engine delivery. So we cannot keep our feed rate below the required minimum feed rate as decided by the maker. So based on the two important factors, that is sulfur percentage and the minimum feed rate, the actual feed rate is determined in the ECU. So in total, there are few important outputs which are available in ECU, and it is being then sent to the CCU for individual cylinder operation. So recalling all those outputs, the first one is the fuel command which was generated earlier. The second one is the fuel injection timing. The third one is exhaust valve timing. The fourth one is hydraulic pressure set points, and the fifth one is cylinder lubrication feed rate. Now all these outputs are then sent to the CCU for individual cylinder operation. Now it is the duty of the CCU to execute all these outputs. So under normal running condition, we can say the ECU basically is a kind of deciding factor, and the CCU is responsible for execution of the function. So ECU basically decides and the CCU executes the function. Now before we go further, let's look at how the normal wiring connection during the time of normal cylinder lubrication, how the wiring connection are connected. That is, now we're going to see how the wirings are connected from the CCU to the cylinder lubricator solenoid valve. So there must be some kind of MPCs which is there in the CCU, from where we need to take the signal, and that signal is coming directly to the lubricator solenoid valve. So just look at the picture over here. So this is the CCU. At the top you can see this complete unit is the CCU, and from here you can see this is the slot number J51. The blue one is called a J51 slot. From the slot J51, the signal is coming via the hydraulic cylinder unit. In the middle of the section, you can see this is the hydraulic cylinder unit junction box. From J51, the signal is coming via the HCU junction box towards directly it is fitted at the cylinder lubricator solenoid valve of that particular unit. This is how the signal is coming from particular CCU. So in this video, our main concern was what happens in case one of the cylinder control unit, one of the CCU fails during operation. All the CCUs are identical, and as you all know, there is no any kind of standby CCU available for dealing with these kind of emergencies. So if one of the CCU fails, immediately for that particular unit, the fuel injection will stop, the exhaust valve actuation will stop, the cylinder lubrication for that particular unit held up, and the slowdown request command will be initiated from the engine control unit. But due to some navigational safety hazard, due to some, suppose you are passing through a narrow passage or you are passing through a strait, so in that case you cannot afford to stop the ship in between. And also if this kind of situation occurs, so in that case your one of the defective unit will automatically be isolated, but at the same time you cannot afford to run the engine with cylinder lubrication stop condition. So in this case, it is very important to revive the cylinder lubrication to keep the engine running. So a kind of 15-meter long emergency lubrication cable is provided by engine maker at the time of vessel delivery. And for ship stability, it's very important to understand that this cable should be kept in a readily accessible location, because you won't have enough time to search this cable in case of any emergency. So it is very important to understand this. There are two ends of this cable, and so one end of the cable is connected to J52 slot of MPCU of ECU A, or you can also connect to ECU B as well, because both the ECU A and ECU B are running in parallel, and one of them are kept as standby. So you can connect either of them. Now the other end of the cable, as you can see in the picture, this other end of the cable is connected directly to the lubricator solenoid valve of that particular defected unit. So this will allow the lubricator to receive the feed rate command directly from the ECU A. So in this case, you can easily connect the emergency lubrication cable, and you can keep the engine operation till you reach the safe location, where you can completely interchange the defective CCU with the new one, and you can completely get rid of the situation. This is the case where one of the unit is completely isolated, so you cannot have the engine power up to maximum MCR. So you need to bring down and you need to cap your MCR up to 55%. And at the same time, you need to continuously keep on checking the parameters, and this is how you need to operate the engine, because this is not the ideal situation. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really get value from this content, do subscribe the channel, and do you have any questions, just put down in the comment section. Just give it a like as well. See you in the next one.